Hi guys, it's Frankie from Frankie Tech. Good to see you guys again. And I'm here on day 2 of my quarantine. So this is, I guess, my second quarantine video and unboxing of the OnePlus 7 Pro. Now, if you haven't been following, I've been very sick recently, guys. I've pretty much been stuck in my bedroom the entire week, but that hasn't stopped me from being able to check out some of these awesome new phones. And this one actually came in the mail, so I didn't even have to go and get it. This is the OnePlus 7 Pro, and this is the Hong Kong version. So this is the 8GB, 256 gig in Nebula Blue. And you may be wondering, Frankie Tech, this has been reviewed to death. Why do I even care about this phone at this point? You know, I was having the same kind of thoughts. I was really thinking, you know, it's been reviewed to death. MKBHD, you know, they've pretty much, they reviewed it on day one and they had it for weeks, you know. But I, being a techie, I'm still a fan of mobile tech. And this phone has been hyped up so much. So I want to see what the hype is all about. And does this phone really live up to all the hype and the praise it's been getting? And I also wanted to wait for the Hong Kong version, because if you guys don't know this, Hong Kong is separate from China in the sense that we do get the global version of phones. And so the Hong Kong version basically has all the stuff you'd get in the global version. So it has the global ROM. All the Google apps are installed from the start, and so that's why I picked up this version, and it just came last night. So I'm here to kind of just show you my first impressions of it, not so much an unboxing. In fact, we can quickly look in here what is inside the box. And apologies again, guys, for my voice. I'm feeling a little bit better today, but I'm still not 100%. Good news is I'm on antibiotics now, so hopefully that'll help zap this thing, and in a couple more days I'll be all right. So, invitation letter. Let's open this up together. There you go. And I'm not going to read this whole thing, but you can see there, thank you for making a difference. Never settle, from Pete Lau. So very nice. I love that they did that on the previous OnePlus 6T. And if you guys don't remember, I did review the 6T in this beautiful thunder purple. And that was an awesome color. So just really amazing unboxing here from OnePlus. They do it better than anyone else. Inside this, you would have also this TPU case that came with the phone. And throwing this stuff aside, there's the little booklets. Show you what's in there. Just really nice attention to detail. I mean, just really nice overall. They do it right. So I'm going to move this stuff over. And in here we have our Warp charger. So this is the famous Warp charging. That was limited to the McLaren edition of the 6T. Now it's standard for the OnePlus 7 Pro. So that's 30 watt fast charging, and that's really awesome. And in here, I actually took it out, but here is the cable, which I'm now currently using. I wanted to actually charge up the OnePlus 7 Pro to get to using it. And I've been playing around with it. Let's move this stuff over here. And so I have been playing around now with this phone for about, I'd say, maybe 12 hours. And you know what? A lot of that hype was actually completely founded. A lot of that hype makes sense. Guys, this is one of the most stunning phones that I have seen in a while. And you know, it's so funny because I just picked up that Realme X the other day. And I was thinking, wow, for the price, that Realme X actually brought a lot to the table here. And this phone is almost double the price of that Realme X. So I paid 2,300 Hong Kong dollars for that Realme X. In fact, this is more than double the price, because this cost me 6,400 Hong Kong dollars. So that's coming up to that close to 800 US dollar price point. I mean, we're already past it. So it is a pricey phone. And this 8GB 256 gig model isn't the base model that is like touted at that 699 price point. So, you know, it's definitely, I'm not completely sure if that was the entry level price, but you guys can check that out for me. But the point I'm trying to make here is that this phone is expensive, and you should expect a lot for the price of this phone. But talking about design, the moment I turned this thing around, I just said, this may be my most favorite back on a phone I've ever seen. Like, look at that. That is just, there's something about this Nebula Blue that is just incredibly stunning. It is beautiful. I like it even more than the Thunder Purple I used to have for the OnePlus 6T. But there's one other phone that I think comes close to this one in terms of beauty. That's right here, the Huawei P30 Pro. These two phones, I think, represent probably what I consider the most beautiful backs on phones that you can get today. Now, they're obviously coming from very different aesthetics. So this one is kind of more of this two-tone aesthetic, and it's obviously glossy, which means it's a fingerprint magnet, but it also means that it's a little bit more grippy, whereas the OnePlus 7 Pro doesn't pick up fingerprints, and you can tell there, it just doesn't do it. It's a very beautiful coating. I just love it. But the only problem with that means it's also one of the slipperiest phones that I've held. Now, in this room, humidity is a little high, so it's probably not as hard to kind of drop it. But honestly, this phone is very slippery, so you're going to want to use it with that case. And the other amazing thing about this phone is this display. It is just absolutely stunning. And so talking about this display, it is a gorgeous 6.67-inch display. Now, don't get me wrong, this phone is heavy. I mean, it's one of the heavier phones I've used recently. 206 grams, and it is definitely not super thin at 8.8 millimeters. But man, this display is good. It is really good. And let's talk about it here, that 90 hertz refresh rate. Now, it may not be showing here in the video, but I was wondering how noticeable this was going to be from the moment I turned it on and started setup. It was immediately noticeable. So to everyone who says, oh, you know, it really doesn't make a difference, it definitely does. And now, don't get me wrong. Like, look, Red Magic 3, there have been some other phones I've reviewed that had this interface, or that had the 90 hertz kind of refresh rate. And guess what? This does it better. And I think it's because of these lighter backgrounds, just because of the way the UI is set up. You can appreciate the 90 hertz refresh rate a lot more on this OnePlus than on anything else. And let's see if I can open something here. Just go to the App Store. Just scrolling and everything feels so smooth. It's buttery smooth. It's really incredible. And so I immediately noticed that this display, by the way, is one of the most beautiful displays I've ever seen on a phone as well. And honestly, when I look at the one on the P30 Pro, it's a great display. And in fact, you guys remember I said I appreciated this P30 Pro because it has the lower resolution, which allows it to have much greater battery life. And I'm still going to be testing the battery on this phone. I don't have any kind of conclusive experience on it so far. I took it off the charger about maybe, I don't know, like an hour ago, and it's at 91%. So, you know, that's not great. I played a little bit of asphalt, but I'm pretty sure the battery's not going to be as good as on the P30 Pro. But Quad HD on such a big display is absolutely gorgeous. I can't tell you guys that it just makes a difference, and I can see why people are loving this 90 hertz refresh rate. Now, is it the only reason you'd want to get this phone? No, definitely not. And there's still some great things. Oh, guys, every time I look at this P30 Pro now, I'm like all depressed because I don't know what's going to happen to you, buddy. But look, this phone still offers a lot, and because its resolution is lower, battery life will be better. So that's something to keep in mind. But I think at this point, for any of you guys who want the best display on a phone, you have two options: the S10 Plus or this. That's it. So just quickly talking about a few other things. I don't want to make this an exhaustive review. So DRM info, obviously we have L1 there. That's very positive. And so in terms of performance, and I don't even need to explain how fast this phone is. Let's go down to About Phone. There we go. Snapdragon 855, 8 gigs of RAM. Now, does this perform as well as the 12 gig model? I didn't even think about getting the 12 gig, guys, because honestly, it's just overkill. And I completely agree with MKBHD's assessment that it's just overkill. I think 8 GB is the sweet spot to get for this phone. And so now, since we're right here, let's kind of wrap up with a little bit of asphalt gaming. And the other thing I wanted to show you guys was the speakers. The speakers are solid. So let's just play a quick game here. And wow, is it loud, guys. It is. I gotta even lower the volume. And they are coming out from both sides. A lot more even than I expected. And gosh, I mean, look at that gaming experience, guys. It's just nuts. Now, I know what you guys are saying. Like, a lot of this comes down to that price. And the price of this phone being what it is is out of the range for a lot of you guys, and it made me think it's something that you won't even consider just given how much more expensive this phone is. And honestly, it's close to the price I paid for the P30 Pro. So what is this phone giving you here that the P30 Pro isn't? So the P30 Pro is giving you amazing camera, a better camera I feel overall, and better battery life. But gosh, look at this phone. What it's giving you is, I think, probably maybe now is my most favorite immersive gaming experience on any phone. Look at that bezel. It is non-existent. And so this phone just feels so futuristic, and I'm just so impressed by it. Initial impressions in terms of performance and gaming are great. So last but not least, let's just quickly talk about the camera. I haven't gotten too in depth with it here. Now, I heard that the wide angle is not so great, and you can tell already that is pretty limited. That's not too great. But I've heard that the main shooter is decent. It's not too bad. And so let's just have a look there. Yeah, I mean, it's not too bad. Now, I'm going to obviously put this camera through its paces compared to the Grandmaster over here, the P30 Pro. But now just going to quickly show you guys the selfie camera, which you've seen a bunch of times. There's Frankie Tech. Still sick. Let me take a quick photo of myself and have a look. Okay, well, I'm looking up because I'm looking at the top here of this thing. I still look like crap. Let's get out of that photo, man. That's embarrassing. So there is the pop-up, and I want to show you quickly compared to the pop-up on the other phone I'm testing, which is the Realme X. And as you know, the pop-up on these phones, let's put them right next to each other here. I mean, BBK makes both of these phones, right? So Oppo and OnePlus. And apparently they're sourcing the pop-up cameras from the same place. A little bit of a different implementation there, but you can see they both look pretty good. This one is more centered, and the OnePlus 7 Pros is a bit more to the right. So we'll have definitely a pop-up selfie battle upcoming. And last but not least, let's try this drop protection thing on the pop-up. And that was pretty cool. Once again, let's try it again. And it closed it again. Awesome. And that's it. Close the camera. And so I definitely will be putting this phone through its paces. I'm very excited to give this one a full test here on the channel. And tell me what comparisons. I know that this phone has been reviewed to death. So I think the real question is going to be, what kind of comparisons do you want to see with this OnePlus 7 with the phones I have? P30 Pro, Realme, or perhaps the Xiaomi Mi 9? Or what about the battery king mid-ranger, the Samsung Galaxy A70? So there's a lot of interesting comparisons I could do here. I may put a poll up in a bit to ask you guys. So we'll see what we do here. So thanks for watching this video, guys. I appreciate it. Still a little bit under the weather, but slowly coming back. But that's it for this video. If you liked it, give me that thumbs up. And if you love the content of Frankie Tech, subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon for future updates. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned. And hopefully I'll just keep getting better, guys. I'm feeling a little bit better today, but still not 100% at all. And appreciate your understanding with that too. That's it for this video, and this is where I leave you by saying, this is Frankie Tech, signing off. Y'all have a good one.